Good morning, everyone. It's February 26th, 2021. I'm Kimberly Jolly from Fat Quarter Shop, and so excited today. We're going to work on Sewcialites Block 20. It's one of my favorite blocks from the series because it's so basic, and sometimes it's good to just do like blocks that are like building blocks that are more just your basic blocks. And it kind of ties into something else also. So just to let everybody know, we were off last week due to weather, so we did push the Sewcialites out 1 week, and we updated the schedule on social media. We did that so that I would be able to not skip a block and just kind of keep it going the same way. I didn't want to skip a block in case I have a beginner that's watching. So I decided to push it back, and so if you need a new printout of the dates, that is on the block. And this week we're on block 20. It is designed by Lisa Bongean of Primitive Gatherings, and she is awesome. And she has an upcoming sew along coming up that we'll talk about in a little bit. So this is it's called the Honor Block, and it's similar to a log cabin. It's just different because the center of the block is fatter. So here are our sample maker blocks in 3-inch. Here are our sample maker so these are the 3-inch blocks. On the left we have Quotation by Zen Chic, and you can see that Teresa fussy cut the letters and the words. And then we've got Deborah's block, and she kind of did the lines where they went this way and then this way. And so if you are working with a directional fabric, you might want to keep that in mind. So if you're doing this and you want them to all go the same way, you would cut 2 of these across the width and 2 across the length, and the center wouldn't matter because it's a square. This is Folk Tale by Layla Boutique, and Terry sewed this one in 6-inch. This is Shine On by Bonnie and Camille by Sue. And this one is Cider by Basic Gray, and it's sewn by Angel. So you can really see here how this is fatter than this, and that's what makes it different than a log cabin. I'm going to show you my 3 blocks that I sewed in Homestead: 3-inch, 6-inch, and 9-inch. So again, if you're doing a directional fabric, you would cut 1, it wouldn't matter which way, and if you want them to all go the same way, you'd cut 2 across the width and 2 across the length, and it would all go the same way. So what I decided, I'm going to show you my blocks that I made previously using Corey Yoder's Apricot and Ash. And these are the ones that I've done on video, and I am going to take these home and kind of think through if I'm ready to turn it into a quilt yet or not. This was the day that we had iron issues right here. I gotta get this off. So 4, 5, 6. So today will be the 7th block. So I'll probably wait till I get 9, and then I'll turn it into something. I'll try to use an existing free pattern, and if I don't find a free pattern, I'll find something in a book that will work so that you can use that. So these are the 2 fabrics that we're going to use today. And what I'm going to do that's a little bit different is we're making the 9-inch block, and let's turn it this way. So this is fabric A, B, G, and F. So on those, A, B, G, and F. So if you want to zoom in, Lily, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, instead of cutting these 2-inch across the width, I'm going to cut them 2 1/4. And so I underlined, and what I'm gonna, and it's easy to tell because you can see the letters A, B, G, F. Cut these wider and trim down. And then your block comes out perfect and nobody's gonna know. So that is one trick that I'm going to do. Can I have the design board? Oh, here's one right here. Okay. So this has a lot of pieces, so I am going to use a design board. And I'm going to X out the 3 and the 6-inch math, because if I don't, I will cut them, and then I will be wondering why I cut the wrong size. So I'm gonna start with my background, and I'm just gonna cut the 4, and I'm gonna label them with my alphabetties. This is when alphabetties are very helpful, is when you have a lot of pieces like this, because I don't want to have to think when I get to my sewing machine. I just want to be able to go. And again, the 4 that I underlined, I'm going to cut 2 1/4 inches wide instead of 2. So I will do the background first. I'm going to iron it real quick. And this is kind of, I'm getting to the end of my scrap, so I'm hoping I have a little bit more of this at home, but I'm actually not sure if I do. So I might have to buy more. But I just need to look to see if I have more. So I'm going to go in order of the pattern, and when It's So Emma or Fat Quarter Shop writes patterns, the way that we do it is we always do the biggest piece first, because when you're cutting, you're going to be, if you put the smallest piece first, you sometimes might run out. So that's why we intentionally do that. So I'm going to cut 2 strips, 2 1/4. And on this one, this fabric does have, it's like a dot and a plus sign, a dot and a plus sign. So I don't want to cut like this, because then it's going to look funny. So when I make my first cut, I am going to make sure that I have it pretty straight on that plus line. And I'm going to cut 2 2 1/4 first. And I will tell you one thing that I learned from quarantine is if you don't have enough rotary blades, you're in trouble. I ran out of rotary blades last week, and I almost...
Oh no.
No, I really ran out. So I had some that were really old from like 20 years ago, but when they get in the package that long, the oil in between the blades. So yeah, that was not good. And this last week was the first week in a couple of years that I have actually worked on something personal instead of work. So that was nice. So I'm just following, this is 6 1/2. And just put it on my, so I just kind of put it this way. I'll stack them too, just to make them fit. And then I've got 2 pieces that are 2 inches. And I should be able to get that from 1 strip. So I will cut this 2 inches. And then I do have a little bit left over, so we'll see if that's enough for next week. So we've got 5 inches and then 3 1/2. And when I am cutting, I do line up both the top and the side. I never just do this. Like, I do both, so that if something is off, then I can adjust. And on this one thing you could do is you could have a light center on the block. So I'm actually going to cut one of those so that if you decide you want light, you can kind of see how it's going to look. So I'm going to cut a, I just have to find where I threw the fabric, sorry.
Oh.
I threw it over here, hold on.
Oh,
I threw it on the floor on accident. I didn't mean to. Oh, Lord. So I'm actually going to cut a 3.5-inch square here just so you can see how the light would look if you want to do that. And again, when I'm doing that, I will make sure that my plus signs look good. I mean, you could cut it this way, but it would be on the bias. But this is just like another little option if you wanted to, because any pattern you're working on, you should make it your own. And this is kind of the only thing I could think of to make it different. So this will be, I'll have 2 E's. Okay, so now this fabric, I'm going to iron it real quick. And the reason I picked this fabric is it has a lot of like lines. You probably can't see them on the camera. But because it has a lot of diagonal lines, it will be easy for me to line that up, cut, and it will make it really nice and straight on a block like this. And I'm trying to just do a variety of prints so that when I get my quilt done, okay. So here I've got all this fabric. What I'm going to do to make it easy is I'm just going to cut a little piece out. I'm just going to cut this piece so that I don't have to mess with all this, because that's a lot to cut across on camera. So I'm going to cut my strips. First, I'll start with my 3.5-inch square. So what I will do is there's these big, long diagonal lines. I'm going to take the diagonal line on my Creative Grids ruler, put it on one of those lines, and you can see it's not straight with the selvage, but it's straight with the fabric. So I'm going to cut that. And at home, I do use a rotating mat from the Kimberly Cuts line. I just don't do it on camera because it's just too bulky. And I, as you can see, get everything all over the place. I don't need one more thing to confuse myself. Well, now that I did that, okay, so now we got to cut this way. So I'm going to cut 2 2¼ inch strips. And I'm going to try to somehow I'm going to line up one of these 45-degree lines on one of these. Okay, so I'm going to cut that. I might have trimmed my square just a little bit too small. Okay, so this is 9.5, then 8.5, so I'll just cut those down. So I'm just following the pattern, but I am trying to, when I cut, you know, keep it really nice. And so this is F. This will be G. And when you're cutting this, you could cut them 2 inches on the outside edge if you want to. I just do it because it makes it really nice and pretty when you're done. And I have lots of little tricks like that I do, and you don't have to do them. I'm a little bit set in my ways, and I like everything to be kind of matchy-matchy. So, okay, so this is not big enough. So I'm going to cut, from here I'm going to cut a little piece off. And then I'll iron this piece. And again, to start my starting line, I will start with this 45-degree line. Yeah, but I love this block. I love anything like this that is basic. Sometimes straight lines are fun. You don't have to change your foot on your machine, which is nice. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to use a tool that I use all the time in my sewing room, and I'm going to show you how it will really make things go faster for you. So Okay, so now I've got everything labeled. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a second design board. Sorry, I was trying to think of my words. And then I'm going to build my block on here from this so I don't have to think when I'm sewing. So E is first. Actually, do we have a bigger designer board?
Hang on. We have the big ones.
Yeah, that would be good. So it's going to be E. Thank you. That was quick. And I dropped that. That's okay. It's fine. So I'm going to just build the block the way it is on the, and then remove my alphabetties. Then I don't have to think. Because I'm going to build them the way that the pattern has. So we're going to be going in a circle clockwise. I believe that's clockwise. Correct, clockwise. Okay, so we're going to build this clockwise. I think I said that 3 times. Sorry. And just think swirl. But so that I don't have to stop and iron, I'm going to use this tool that's amazing. It is the Quick Press Seam Roller by Lori Holt. Okay, good. I said it right. I'm going to find my pins. Now on this one, I am going to pin. So I will just, oh, and I wanted to show you this before we go. Okay, so that's with the dark center, which is similar to this dark center. If you wanted to do it different, you do a light center. So that's the one, because every time I show you something, I want to show you something that you could do at home, just to add something to the video. But I do think the dark looks better. So I'm going to just put these right sides together, pin at the end. I'm using a 1/4 inch foot, and I'm just going to stitch really fast. I usually use a 1.5 stitch length, which is super small. Now on this block, I'm going to press, okay, this block we have everything pressed open, right? But, okay, let me fix this so that it doesn't drive me crazy. Sorry.
You're good.
It's like there's on the way to work, there's this stop sign, not a stop sign, a speed limit sign, and it's crooked, and every time I drive by it, it drives me crazy.
Oh.
I'm like, whoever made this sign needs to fix it. Okay, so when you start touching other blocks, the only seams that might touch is 1, 2, 3. So this doesn't matter. So I'm going to press these to one side, except the last ones. So set my seam, press to one side, put that down where it was, add the next one. So this you can do super fast, just staying at your sewing machine and not having to get up. And you can also, I can show you, you can also press open. So if you want, let's just press it open for fun. It works too. And the key to this is just to really press, not like this, just press. So pin. And in the end, nobody's going to know how you did this. But this will save you a ton of time. And if you're making a bunch of these blocks at one time, yes, I would get up and go to the ironing table. But if I'm just doing one, I'm not about to get up and sit down and get up and sit down. Because I got a lot of stuff to do. Are there any questions?
Yes.
Oh, I forgot to press that one open. Huh.
Ooh. From Carlene B, are you going to demo some 3.5-inch blocks?
I did in the very beginning. So if you go to blocks 1 through 9.
I think those are 6-inch.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm going to demo them after the 12-inch.
Yeah.
So basically, during Sewcialites, I'm going to do some of all of them, all the sizes. I just can't remember what I do day to day, but yes, I will. I need to take it to the floor now.
Okay. People are asking how the weather is now.
Oh, it's good now. It's cold, but it's good. It was 70 yesterday.
Yeah.
It got cold last night.
Yeah, it's a little chilly today, but nothing like last week. And then,
It's like in Texas, if you just blink, your weather will change.
yes. From 2 through, I tried the cut slightly larger than trimmed down and still ended up with a wonky block for a different quilt. Any ideas on how I make sure I get it right?
Make these outside pieces bigger and trim down like I'm about to do. And I am going to tell you stories of the weather and all that at the end and try to tell you some. I have a really funny story that is, I don't know, I always say I'm going to write a book, or I don't know, I could be a stand-up comedian if I really told y'all all the stories. I mean, I've got a story that's like, it's going to go down in the all-time. But anyway, some of them I can't say on camera, but this one I can.
Ooh.
And I know my kids don't watch the very end, so they won't see it. Because it's about them. But they know what I think anyway. So, I mean, it's not going to be anything I say. It's not, okay. My machine is having fun today.
Oh,
It keeps
no.
unthreading.
Oh,
So I'm just going to re-thread it all the way and start over.
okay. From Kathleen Champ, she says, "Hi Kimberly and Fat Quarter Shop family. Kimberly, why did you choose to make those particular strips larger and not all?"
Because at the very end, I'm going to trim down the block, and I only need to trim that last row. And I'll explain more, like when I'll measure it and kind of show what I mean. And it's just a trick that I came up with. So anytime you're doing, that's why we have the paper for log cabin and courthouse, so that you can come up with exact blocks. But anytime you do a block like this, they never come out the right size, ever.
And from Dragonfly Tracy, why would you set the seam with a roller? I thought the idea was the heat from the iron sets the seams. Am I missing something? Or incorrect about the heat?
I don't know. I just do it. I have no idea. I think that it works fine with the, I think it works both ways. It's not really the heat. I think it's more the pressure. But I don't know. I just do it. I think I do it out of habit.
And from Lisa Peg, is the little roller best for bias seams?
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Is the seam roller best for bias seams?
I don't think it matters.
I think it works well on
Either.
either, yeah. And Donna Mom says, how do you clean your design boards? The lint roller didn't seem to do the trick.
I don't clean them. I just leave them. So I have a bunch at home that are just dirty. If you can just pick them off. If not, I'll just throw it away. But mine have never gotten so dirty that I have to throw them away.
Yeah, I pick the little things off of them. And then we've had a few new YouTube members that have been joining. First YouTube member was Janine T. West. Welcome, Janine.
Thank
and
you.
then our next YouTube member was Catherine Clements. Welcome, Catherine. And then another new YouTube member, Dolores Johnson. Welcome, Dolores.
Thank you. So you can see, look how that is. See, I'm off an 1/8 of an inch right there. But that's anytime you do these blocks, that's what happens. But because I make them bigger, it's not going to matter. That's why I do the foundation paper for these type of blocks. off camera real quick. As the seams get bigger, it's harder to use the seam roller.
Yeah. And could you use any of the foundation paper we carry to make this block?
You could use the 6-inch paper to make the 6-inch block. It would just be a traditional log cabin instead, but nobody will know the difference. So if you want to, you can do that. And we don't have paper for this one, but I do have an idea for future paper that I'm going to talk about after I'm done with the block, because I feel like if I start talking about it now, I'll get so excited that I'll mess up my words. Okay, I did something wrong.
Oh.
Oh, okay, this one. I shouldn't have cut it 9.5 because I cut these wider. So that I cut it too short for this to work. So what I'll do, I do this all the time. I just pull the piece. I'm gonna literally put it right there. And I'm gonna cut about that width of a strip. And I'm gonna do 2 1/4. And actually, I'm not even gonna measure it. I'm just gonna, this side doesn't have to be even because of.
Because you can trim it?
Yep. So as long as I use the side I just did, and I can just put this in my scrap bucket. Put that there, and I don't even have to pin it because I'm just gonna put it on and show you what I do. And anytime I'm making a change to a block like this, if I'm doing a whole quilt, I'll do cut one block and then figure out what works and go from there before I cut the whole thing. Because I do stuff like that all the time. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to set my seam, press to one side. I really like this fabric, it's pretty.
Yeah.
And then, oops, that's that seam right there, see that? I'll fix it. Because if you don't, right there, there's going to be a hump.
Oh.
So I'm going to fix it. I'm going to just, cut a couple of seams out. This seam ripper never works on camera, ever. I think it's because it takes a while to get warmed up. I should just bring the one from home because that one has plenty of use.
There is a spare on the bottom left.
Okay, so here I'm going to press that open and just go over that seam again. I mean, if I'm in a hurry, I'll leave that, but most of the time I won't. Or if it's like a quilt that's like for a gift, then it's like, they don't know. They don't care. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how I trim this down. This is why I have so many Creative Grids 9.5-inch squares at home. I mean, square rulers at home, not 9.5. I have all the sizes because I want to be able to just trim this down. I am going to use a rotating mat this time.
Hey, the Kimberly cuts. That's what it's called.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So these should be about 1/4 inch too big here, and then this one just, you know, whatever. So these should finish at 1.5. So without that second seam, it should be about 1 3/4, 1 3/4, 1 3/4, 1 3/4. So I'm going to put 1 3/4, 1 3/4, 1 3/4, and I just get it to where it's pretty even. So I usually will count, so this is like, I count at the 1/4 inch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oops, now I moved it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that's not, it's off a little bit. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I just have to play with it to get it right, because I want it even here and here. Between this seam and this seam, even. And this seam and the outside, even. So you just need an equal number of squares on all sides. So I just have to do this without talking or I'll screw up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's about right. And you don't have very much waste, and you have a perfect block. And you don't have any of the leftover threads over here either. So that's what I do. The one thing I wanted to talk about was, I love this block, and on Friday, Lori Holt did a video on her channel called Sew Your Stash Series 13. And she made a block. It's similar, it's not exact, it's more similar to a courthouse steps. And it's called 12-inch Lincoln Log Blocks. And that is going to be in a future book. And with the 12-inch log cabin Lincoln Log Blocks, she kind of has a light version and a dark version. It's not really light, dark, it's just different placement of fabric around the circle. So I was wondering if you guys watched that and if you would like paper out of that. That would be 2 6-inch papers and 2 12-inch papers. And that would go with the book, of course. But because I don't like to make these and then have to, I don't know, it just looks pretty.
Yeah.
So I really love these kind of blocks, and that's kind of what we're trying to do with the foundation paper. So if you're interested in that, let me know. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to answer any questions on that block.
Yes. Let's see. First of all, we had a couple super chats coming in. First one from Alicia Bess for $9.99, and she put a pair saying thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And then our next super chat is from Dotty Holland for $10. And Dotty says, so happy to have you back this week. It was weird without you both last week. So excited to be able to watch live this week. Headed to Disney.
Oh, Disney.
That's exciting.
Lily's jealous.
A little bit.
Lily loves Disney.
I do.
I could live without it. I don't get it. Because I don't watch movies. So I don't know. I mean, my kids like it, yeah. But I don't know. I don't even think we're doing anything for spring break. So, okay, so I wanted to show you here. I've got 3 green, and I'm going to do 1 more brown and 1 more peach. So I'm going to find those fabrics real quick and pick them. So these are kind of these are my leftover fabrics here. So these are the 2 I think I'm going to do next. And that way when I put my quilt together, it'll be an even number of colors. So these will be my last 2 fabrics. So that I've got 3 peach, 3 brown, 3 green. Because, you know, I'm a little bit OCD. Nothing in my life is really planned, except for what happened Tuesday. And it is the funniest story I'm ever going to tell. Ooh. I could not believe it. I almost like fell over laughing so hard and thought, this is funny, but it's really not funny if it's your kid. Because you're like so mad, but it's so funny. I had to call one of my friends from high school because he has 3 boys also. and they're younger than my 3 boys. So I'll always tell him stories like, oh, well, wait till they're bigger. This is what's going to happen. I called him and he was like, they did not do that. I was like, oh, they did. And he was laughing so hard. His wife was listening too, but it was so funny. Had to call somebody to tell him.
We have a super chat from Valeria Bauer for $19.99, and Valeria says, you are amazing. It's a little tap dancing pear with a little cane.
Thank you.
So cute. Thank you so much, Valeria.
Okay, so I'm going to take a quick break. We're going to move all the stuff, and then I'm going to come back and show you all the stuff I sewed. I sewed a ton last week, and oh my gosh, I'm all caught up. I probably could never say that again on this camera. So I'll be right back, and Lily's going to come talk. Okay. Hello. Sorry, tripped there for a second. Hi, everyone. My name is Lilly. In case you didn't already know that, voice behind the camera, videographer person here. And here to talk to you about a few things. First, I'm going to answer a couple questions that have been coming in. A few of you were asking about the dress I'm making. And I was originally planning on wearing it today, and then it was cold this morning, so I did not wear it today. And then I also decided there's a little finishing touch I want to put on it, so I am going to show that next week. Even if it's cold next week, I will wear it. Just this morning, I was like, I'm done with the colds right now. And next question I saw was from Iris Rivera. She said, question for Lilly, have you started Nebula Quilt? If yes, did you starch? And is there enough fabric in the kit for starching? So I did start my Nebula. I have done block 1 so far. And I would say I lightly starched, so not Kimberly style starching, so it doesn't shrink as much the way I do it, I think. But I did have a lot of fabric left over, so I think if you starched either lightly or the Kimberly way, I think you would have enough to do it. So that's good there. And a few people were talking about Disney, if I have seen that they're having specials with parks and hotels and all of that. I have. I'm probably not going to go until maybe next year to Disney. For those of you who might not know, I did work at Disney for a little bit back in 2016 while I was still in college, so I have a deep, deep love for Disney, especially Disney World. That's where I worked. And then I did want to show you guys real quick some pictures from what we're calling Snowmageddon or the Snowpocalypse or Snowvid 21, whatever you want to call it. These are my pictures of what happened. So that's me and my boo. His name is Cruz. That's Kimberly on the side there. No, not in the picture. You're good. And then he let me borrow his ski glasses because snow blindness is a thing, and I did not know. So that's downtown Austin in the background. That's us at Zilker Park the first day it snowed because the snow was powdery, and I have a very nice car that was able to manage driving in the snow. We went out there to see what it looked like. Also rescued some of his family because they were without power, and I had power, so they all came to stay with me. And we took a little side trip to Zilker there. And then next picture is trying to stay warm. Even though we had power, it was still very, very cold in my house. That's a few of my quilts hung up to try to keep everything insulated because Texas homes are meant to repel heat, not to keep it inside generally. So there they are. And then we tried to take the dogs for a walk on that very first day, and we had 6 inches of snow, and my dog Sherlock, he's the one in the front, his legs are I think 5 inches long. So he was a little too deep in the snow, and he started lifting his little paws like this, shaking to try to tell us that he was too cold and we needed to take him back inside. But Doc, his brother there behind him, he's having a blast. He loves any weather, any kind of water, frozen or otherwise, so we were having a good time that day. And yeah, that's what I have to show you today. Kimberly is back, so I will hand it back over to her. Do-do-do. Put that there, and I'll go this way. I'm gonna move this off.
Oh, I can do that.
I'll just put it right there.
I'll do that.
Hopefully. Oh, sorry. Have my mask on. Yeah. I'm back. So I wanted to show you, I I think the saddest thing I was about last week was that we missed Stronger Together week 3. So I want to show you my blocks from week 3. And so you could do a lot with this because it's 3 colors, but you could do something where you do it in diagonal rows and just do 2 colors and make it more of a you could make this into like maybe a stripe like black, white, or you could do 6 colors. And you could even do a gradient of like dark, light, lighter, medium, you know what I mean? Like you could do an ombre from the outside. There's a lot you could do with the center. I just made it the same way as the pattern. And it is the quilt behind me. And then there's these, which go on the quilt. And when you add these, what you want to do is find the very center of your rows. So the very center of your quilt, you would just kind of fold it in half. Here, I'll show. Like right here. So you would want to, I'm like a weatherman. Okay, so like here, because I can't see. Okay, so you would fold this right here and find the center here and pin the center here and then start in the center and go out, start in the center and go out. And do these 2 first and then these 2. But always start in the center when you're adding these kind of triangles. That will make it come out a lot nicer. And so Monday, I think, is March 1st. And so we're going to tally that money on Monday, and we will round up, and I will tell you the amount that we have raised for UNCF next Friday. So we'll put that on the agenda for next Friday. And we think it's going to be a lot of money, so we're super excited. Mm-hmm. The fabric in this quilt is speckled by Rashida Coleman Hill for Ruby Star Society. And on this collection, just to kind of give you an update, we were shut down for a week, and so was Moda. But not only was Moda shut down, they had a huge water leak. Some of the fabric is starting to come back in on the speckled, but I think it's selling so well that it just, it's hard to keep it in stock. So we are going to just keep reordering that fabric, and we're going to up our orders so that in the future we're not short on that. And a lovely listener sent in her quilt to show. It is Cherie Spain, and this is awesome.
Oh, so pretty.
When I look at it, I think of autumn, but it's the Essex Metallic. So I'm going to hold it up and then do the top camera. And she is from So Hooked on Treasures on Instagram. So it is the Essex linen, but it is, some of the Essex is metallic and some is not.
It's sparkly.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so pretty.
So like this is metallic, but this is not. So you can kind of see the sparkle. And then she did the gingham. And to me, this quilt, when I look at it, it's like Christmas and fall and like together. So to me, this would be like the perfect quilt to put on your couch for like the end of the year, because it kind of is both holidays. Mm-hmm. I don't know, to me, I mean, it's more Christmas, but
yeah, kind of.
I want to show the back too. And I'm going to tell a funny story. So now we have to put our quilts with these because the other day we had a pin and I cut myself so bad that I could almost not cross stitch on the weekend. It was like horrible. So, okay, so what she did, well, she does have a scrappy binding. With, okay, sorry. I'm trying to show the scrappy binding. So she has the scrappy binding and they're left over from the quilt, the fabrics on the top. And then it says pattern Stronger Together, pieced, quilted, finished by So Hooked on Treasure, Cherie Spain 2021. So she might have printed this label herself and then she just hand stitched it down. And so if you guys are interested in doing your own type of labels, since I don't know how, she would be a great resource to reach out and see like what supplies she's using. You know, like what kind of printer, Or does she have them printed somewhere? Because that is a question that I know Lily and Ashley get a lot in the comments, and I don't know the answer. So that's pretty cool.
Is it quilted in metallic? It looks like it.
I don't know. It looks white to me.
Oh, okay.
It looks grayish. I don't know. I don't think it's metallic.
Okay, it's coming out
But it
metallic
might
on
be.
the camera.
To me, it looks just like a, I don't know.
Yeah, that's so pretty. Wow.
But let's look at the, it looks like she did custom quilting, so we can.
Yeah.
So when we look at this, we can look at the scrappy binding again. What she did is she pulled probably the left. Oh, this is really cool. This is probably where she started and ended.
Oh, yeah, because then it's just a poop.
But that's cute, how it's like a little baby. So she took like the green from here for here, that kind of thing. So just wanted to show you like other quilts and how you can make this quilt any type of color you want. Mm-hmm. And thank you to Cherie for letting us borrow your quilt. Mm-hmm. Lily's likes it.
I do. Now I'm like, man, I want to make something like that.
I know. I've never worked with the metallic, so I don't know. I don't know how that would be. Mm-hmm. I've never gotten a complaint about it though. I don't know if it would be hard or not. Mm-hmm. It's pretty. Are there any questions on that?
From Jennifer Aragon, are you still going to make kits for it, the Stronger Together?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, when it all comes.
Yeah.
It's like one SKU comes and then the other SKU's gone. You know, it's like balancing act. And that fabric has been out for quite a while, but I think what happened when they released their second or third batch of colors, then it just kind of hit a peak, because I think that there's always a mix of how many SKUs there are, how many colors, and once the collection has enough colors where more people can use it, it kind of will go from like this to this. That's just how fabric works. When you have a basic, it works across the board. It's got, for a basic to work, it's got to have like just the right amount of colors for all kinds of people who quilt. So like for me, traditional, for Lily, modern, for someone else, eclectic, you know, I mean, it's got to be able to reach all audiences for a basic to work. So one thing that I worked on last week is Stitchery Sampler. I did a lot. So the first thing I'm going to show you is my row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm building it as I go. So I got that done, which really felt good, and very, what do you call it? It's like, very, satisfying just to see all my straight, but this, because I was so nervous I was going to mess up the direction, so it's like so satisfying that I did it right. Because I work on so many different projects that a lot of times, well, most of the time I forget what I'm doing. And so then when I come back, I make mistakes, but I didn't, so I'm excited about that. So that, I got that done. And then I worked on block 7 last week, and there is a video on Joanna Figueroa's Fig Tree. Can you zoom in? Sorry.
Oh.
That was my, I did a little.
I thought you meant scroll down, and I was like, to what?
No, because I'm crazy. Okay, so one thing that I did that's different in this, and I am very happy with what I did, is here, she had 1-inch cornerstones around these. And I felt like it was just way too much. So I just left my squares the size they were cut, and I did not add those cornerstones. And then what I did is, using design boards, I pressed everything opposite directions so that I didn't have to press open. So I'm going to show you that. So you can see, like, I pressed in and then out. I just kind of just did it ad hoc. So it's not the same on all of them. I kind of just did whatever it looks like. So, and when I do something like that, I just keep a design board right here, and then I press, put it on the design board, press, put it on the design board, that kind of thing. but I felt like when this had the white around it, I felt like it just took away from the block. So that was the one change I made to block 7. And so this weekend I'll take this home and I'll add my sashing. And then I'm going to show you block 8. And this one I love. Ooh. So I use this brand new paper from It's So Emma, which is, I mean, to be fair, it's my company. But they're 1.5 inch by 3 inch flying geese paper. So I use that to make these. And the one thing that I did, okay, this is going to probably confuse y'all. But when you have something like this in a block, I'll cut it like a 1/16 of an inch wider so that my block comes out right. Oh. And I cut this taller right here, and then I can cut it down. Oh. And here. So I kind of get complicated when I start doing that, which is not always the best thing. But when I'm working on blocks on any quilt, whether it's a quilt that I design, Jocelyn designs, Lilly designs, whatever, any quilt, any designer, Joanna, Camille, Lori, anybody, I try to use leftovers from blocks that I'm having fun with on the back. So I had so much fun doing this, and I had so much time because it was a snowcopolis, or whatever you call it. Say the word right. Lily knows how to say it.
Snowpocalypse.
Yeah, I can't say it.
Snow together.
I actually tried to practice it yesterday and I couldn't. So on this, you made two of each, and you get 2 from one paper. But I thought, well, if I'm already doing this, let me make 4. Let me do 2 papers each. So I used, so see, like I made 4, and then I turned it into this, and I sewed in a Sweetwater label, and I will put fabric around it to make my backing. Oh. See what I mean? So when I have fun making something, I just make more. Mm-hmm. And yeah, like see, like this one, you only made 1. So I just made more. Do you know what I mean? Like not all of these did you use 2. So then I just started making extras and thought, well, I'll just make a bunch for the back. So I'll probably do it like this on the back and add a fabric here and then add fabric that way, but I'll probably keep it going up and down rather than sideways because of the way my name is. And these are labels that I purchase from Sweetwater Label Company. And sometimes I iron it on a white fabric and sew it in. Sometimes I just sew it in. But it does have a stickiness, so if you put a backing on it first, it makes it easier. So I got that done. And this, I don't even know what I cut. I just made something up. I think I probably did the same as that. Yeah, I did. And not only did I do that, I did these. So I got excited and I made all of these flying geese. They are unfinished 2 1/4 by 4, so our paper won't work. So I used the Eleanor Burns quick flying geese method and used a math for a bigger one and then just trimmed down. And I made all of the blue and all of the orange for the border, and then I cut my cornerstones. So I was able to kind of catch up, and then all of these stripes right here that you see, those are either border or, and I have little notes of what they are. So that's my status on Stitchery Sampler. It is designed by Joanna Figueroa of Fig Tree Quilts. She has videos on all of these, and you follow the booklet. And we still have kits left. So I know Joanna's out of kits, but we're not out of kits. So if you need a kit, definitely get the kit at Fat Quarter Shop, and we do have the booklet. Some people who are doing the stitch along or sew along are doing it in different fabrics, and that's okay too. So let me know if there's any questions on this.
From Linda Baldwin, how does Kimberly like her new Juki at home, the platinum one?
Oh my goodness, Lily got to see it yesterday. I love it. I love it. So I purchased the Juki Platinum. I did not receive it free. Sometimes we get comments, and so I just want to be upfront with you guys. I don't recommend anything ever on this channel that I don't like, but I didn't get paid. I purchased it full price from Lisa Bongean at Primitive Gatherings. So Juki came out with a maybe a 20th year edition. It's some type of anniversary, and it's platinum. And so I bought it, and it's supposed to be the same exact machine with extra feet, but I swear it works better. I feel like it goes faster and it's smoother. And I said that to Kevin, and Kevin said, no, Kim, you just put a lot of wear and tear on that other one and never got it serviced. And I was like, well, just let me pretend. So, but it is good to have two so that, you know, if one ever breaks. But I love it. It's like my best purchase ever. I mean, it was frivolous, right? But I kind of justified it because a lot of our recreational money is not spent right now. Like boys, they did basketball and now one's doing baseball. But like Emma's not doing dance conventions, or she is, but she's doing like a third of what she used to do. So I'm like, well, I'll just take 2 of those dance conventions, because those are usually $600 a pop minimum, because she's in 10 dances. Yeah. So you pay by dance. It's usually like $75 a dance. So do the math. That would be $750. But so I just took that money, spent it on myself.
Aww. Do you think in 20 years they'll have a gold one?
I don't know. Maybe 10 years.
I hope so. Oh, yeah, in 10 years. That would be cool.
I didn't know they did that kind of thing. I don't know if they did that on their 10th anniversary. I just really love Lisa Bongean. I mean, I consider her a friend, and I watch her videos and follow her on, you know what I mean? Like, and I just texted her as soon as I saw that machine, and I was like, I don't know, but I need one of those. So whatever I have to do, please get me one. Yeah. And so she said, okay. And then I think someone canceled. So yeah. But oh my gosh, so excited, so happy that I bought that. I thought, well, I mean, I don't like to be frivolous, but kind of right now, I have nothing else going on in my life.
Oh.
So I'm going to be frivolous when I want. Okay, what's the next thing? Okay, Riley Blake Design Challenge. Okay, yes. So this is a brand new free sew-along by Riley Blake. There will be 16 total blocks. It started in February, and what they're going to do is on the first, second, and third Tuesdays of the month, there's a free block. So this is a free block by Karina Gardner. They finish at 10 inches and they're unfinished at 10.5. So I really like that because, you know, most quilts are like 9 or 12, so this is 10. Now, I want to be 100% transparent. I copied this idea from Bev McCullough of Flamingo Toes. I did send her a message to make sure she was okay with it. But I have the Sashiko Baby Lock machine, which I also did purchase. I was not given that free. And I stitched about 1/4 inch away with this. It's 24, 23, 12 weight. Is it 12 weight? No, 28 weight. And I am not very good on the machine yet, so I wanted to do something pretty light because I was afraid if I did aqua or brown and my stitches were ugly that it would really bother me. So I just did something very subtle. And so this block is called Framed by Karina Gardner. Completely free pattern on Riley Blake's blog. They have a page on their blog and on their website, and it's got 3 links. One link is for patterns, one link is for info, and one link, I can't remember what it's for. Now I'm using the Lori Holt Prim collection. So these are the first 3 blocks that are out. So this is Framed Flower by Karina Gardner. This is Shining Star by Bev McCullough, and she's from Flamingo Toes. And she's the one where we sell a lot of her needle minders, and her needle minders outsell everyone else's needle minders.
They're so cute.
Yeah, and then I think I might do this on another quilt too. I want to kind of get the hang of it, but it made me feel good to use the machine. And then this one is Amanda Niederhauser is Jedi Craft Girl. And so I'm having fun with that. It's a free sew along, and I'm assuming there's going to be a free finishing at the end. And so I'm just going to sew along with you guys on this. So I got that done. And any questions on that one? Okay, so Serendipity. I'm not going to show I'll show the quilt, but I'm not going to hold it all the way out.
Oh, yeah, you can just put it, there you go.
I'm just going to, oh, that's folded ugly.
Sorry, that was me.
Sorry, my back hurts. That's why I was trying to be lazy. Okay, so this is our Serendipity sew along. We've already raised $25,439. So I'm going to show it to you from the front. So this is a free sew along for Make-A-Wish. The money goes directly to Make-A-Wish. So we're just asking for donations to go to Make-A-Wish. Now we moved this back for the second time. The first time we moved it back is due to COVID delivery issues. The second time we moved it back is because Texas was completely shut down for a week with snow, and Moda had a water leak. This fabric arrived on Tuesday this week. If you purchased a kit, we're packaging it up and it will ship Monday, Tuesday. And within your package, you're going to receive this little paper right here that shows the adjusted release dates, because the patterns were already printed with the previous dates. And on the first and third Monday of every month while we're doing this, is that right, Lily?
Yes.
We're going to do a live tutorial, Lily and I, and ask for donations. And so kind of what I'm going to do, let me kind of show you this. This is my plan, because we've never done something like this. So if you look at this block right here, yeah. So if you look here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the fabrics from the entire row. I'm going to bring them in, and I'm going to cut for the entire row, because that's what I would do at home. And then I'm going to piece this one block. And then the next week I'll come back and show this, but when I come back and show this, I will have this sewn together. Because if I sew this together, I will be on camera for 5 hours, and that's just...
That's a lot.
Yeah, and I might get crinkety. I might get crinkety on the camera that long. So we'll see how that works out. I mean, if it is too much to cut all of them, I might go down to just cutting one. We'll just have to see. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And if you missed out on getting a quilt kit, you can use your own fabrics. The reason we do this is to raise money for Make-A-Wish. Kevin and I donate $20,000. Mark Dunn from Moda Fabrics donates $10,000, and we do have bonus finishing patterns at $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, and $50,000. So when we start week 1, we're going to release that first finishing pattern, because you need the block 1 to be able to make it.
Yes.
And the fabric is Springbrook by Corey Yoder, which I think it just arrived or
Yes.
just shipped.
Yes, just arrived.
And this background is Robin Pickens. It's thatched. And they also just added some thatched colors to the website. So this will be very similar to what we do with Serendipity. I mean, Sewcialites.
Serendipity, Sewcialites.
Yeah, sorry. It's going to be similar to what we do with Sewcialites, except I'm just going to do the charity quilt. I'm not going to add anything else at the end, like talking and all that. So there's that. And then the next thing I wanted to mention is, okay, American Quilter Stitch Along, Sew Along. American Quilter Sew Along. It is going to be a free sew along where you make 20 flag blocks. They finish at 10 1/4 by 12 1/2. Well, they unfinish at that size. They're going to be free blocks on Lisa Bongean's blog and video. She announced yesterday that she is going to have her first video, tutorial 1, on March 4th at 1 p.m. I believe it's a live video, but so if you're going to stitch along, I'm going to stitch along. What you need is 4 yards of a background and the American Gatherings Fat Quarter Bundle. And so she's going to talk about preparing her fabric, and then she will talk about the release of her blocks, and whatever she says, we'll put in the document, and I'll read it to you next week. But it's fun. I've been doing it, and it's fun. I have all 20 blocks done. I'm so excited.
Do you know when the fabric for that arrives?
It should arrive soon. The yardage arrived, but the pre-cuts have not. Is that good?
Yes.
Sorry, like for some reason Lily's shorter today, so I can't see her whole mouth, and so the whole video I'm like looking at her like, what?
I'm shorter today.
The other thing I worked on, I got a lot of progress on this done. This is the Swirling Stars quilt. It's designed by Jocelyn, and This is the third year I'm doing something where I take my scraps, which are my leftovers, and turn them into a quilt. And then at the end of the year, I will always have a quilt that has like a combination of what I use throughout the year. So we called this one 2021 Swirling Stars. It uses the H550 and H275 triangle paper. And so I'm making blocks. So what I did, I was able to make enough for row 1. So if you look at it from the front, even though there's that orange block, it doesn't really stick out. And what I'm trying to do with this is each of the print fabrics I'm trying to only use once. Now the background fabric, I'm just using whatever I have. So within the block, I use the same background fabric, and I might use it in 1 block, I might use it in 2 blocks. It kind of depends, because that's what I will always have the least amount of. So you can see this is a Bonnie and Camille collection, Fig Tree, Lori Holt, a completely different Fig Tree group, a different Bonnie and Camille group, and a different Lori Holt group. So I've got that row 1 done, and I also have 2 more blocks done. This is another block, and then this one, oh my gosh, this looks so good. So this is Prim by Lori Holt, and this is Be Basics by Lori Holt. And this one I want to show you. Prim, I was able to make the large and the small, so I'm going to make sure this goes on row, the very last row, so that even though they're different fabrics right here, I don't want them to touch. So the further I can keep design, like if the more I can separate designers within the quilt, the better it's going to look, because then it becomes very scrappy. And you can see, this is something I would have never done a couple years ago, but like this is cream, this is white, this is white. That used to drive me crazy. And Lori just kept saying, trust me, it's fine. And see how this has a lot of dots in it, but I didn't have anything else. Like there was nothing else that I had that matched the right tone of the white cream, whatever this is. And so I just said, okay, well, this is what I have left over, so I'm going to use it. And then this one, okay, so for example, this right here, this is a Bella Solid. This is not from the Prim collection, but I didn't have enough to do this, so I put it with a different collection. And that's the whole point of the sew along, is to like make me step out of my bounds, like step out of my regimen, and just kind of put whatever I have and make myself not buy anything. And I'm sure that when I get to the end, I'm gonna have extra blocks, so I can guarantee one of these, something like this on the back. What I'm kind of thinking I'm gonna do is one of these and 2 small, and then a label here. That's what I'm kind of thinking. Because if we're in like February and I've already got a row and a half done, I'm gonna have a lot left over. This has been a lot of fun though. I will say that has not been a lot of fun. All that pressing open, that's not fun. But it looks pretty. See, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, it's so pretty now. When you're at home, you're like, poopity poop poop poop. You're like, no, I don't want to do this. That's what I say.
That's really funny.
That's what I say. Lots of words like that. I say biscuit when I just say a lot of words that are not curse words, but they mean it to me, and my kids just look at me like I'm a crazy old lady.
Biscuit's my favorite.
I always say biscuit. That means, dang it. That's what that means. So now I'm going to show you a couple new items, because last week I wasn't here. And this is something I'm super excited about, but now I've lost it. The scissors, where'd they go?
Oh, I'm sorry, they're on the side.
No, they're not.
Oh.
What did I do with them?
You're down there.
Okay. We'll find them. I don't know where they are.
No.
I don't know what I did with them. So I'll show you fabric. Sorry, my back hurts really bad. I did a filming yesterday at home, Lilly and I did, and anytime I stand up for like a long period of time, my back hurts. Thanks. See, that's my life right there. When I, like at home, I don't know where anything is. So I wanted to show you first Priscilla's Pretty Plaids. This is a designer that does cross stitch, and she does a lot of finishing. So I helped her get a fabric line with Henry Glass. So this is Priscilla's Plaids. And then during the snow cloplix, I can't say it, snow whatever, this came in, and these are Chelsea's checks. So they're the same exact colors, just different scale, and I wanted to show them on camera since sometimes online it's hard to see. So, and these obviously would look great in a quilt. So these are Priscilla's Pretty Plaids and Chelsea's checks. Another thing I wanted to show you was Chris Vine, who Lori and I got to meet at the Riley Blake event in 2019. She emailed me and said, do you think you could put together a bundle for binding? Because I always have a hard time picking binding. So I said, sure. Now, it took me a couple of weeks to do it because I had to order to get enough fabric in stock to be able to do it. So Sarah kind of went through and tried to find things that would look good on binding, but that we could get enough in stock. So this was the idea from Chris Vine, so huge shout out to her. And we got these new scissors. So I love sharp scissors. Usually you can tell by my fingers because I usually clip myself. So we had these scissors made for Sew Sampler in 2020, and they got really good reviews. So we decided to make 2 other sizes, and these are going home with me. They're very sharp. They will clip you. Don't ask how I know. And then these are more for cutting big fabric, but these are really quality scissors. Kevin has always wanted to make scissors for some reason. I don't know, maybe it's a guy thing. And I've always said, oh, I don't like the quality, I don't like the quality. And we found this company, and very excited that we finally found a company that I like the quality of it. Okay, another thing I'm going to show you is I'm auctioning off a quilt for Rodeo Austin. So our warehouse manager's name is David, and his wife works for Rodeo Austin. And the live stream, the silent auction started a couple of days ago, and I think 2 days ago, and it closes today at 8:30 tonight. There are several packages on there. Now, if you don't live in Austin, it wouldn't be relevant to you except for our quilt. So we made a quilt. Gina Tell made it. It was for the Summer Moon book. It was the modern version, and we are auctioning off the handmade quilt and a $500 gift certificate all in one. And so Ashley has put a link to it, and it's very easy to use because if I was able to figure out if I was able to set up a profile and update, because I did bid on one thing. So just scroll through, and if you want to bid on that, that would be great. We're trying to raise money for Rodeo Austin. David's wife, Julie, is super nice. David has worked for us for, gosh, I don't know, 10 years. So anytime we can help out, someone else, we do. So definitely go bid on that because the bid is now, it's not very high.
And it's item number 31.
We got to borrow this quilt from Stacy Itsu this week, and I had talked about this a couple months ago. This is one of her new patterns from the Celebration collection, Holiday Celebration, and I think I'm going to sew along with her. It is a Moda quilt kit, and we're pre-selling it, I believe. And the deadline has passed for us to order. So what we've ordered is all we can order. So if you're interested in sewing along with me, pre-order or click to be notified so that you don't miss out. Because usually what I try to do is show the quilt before the pre-order date ends, but it came in during snowcopolis, or I don't know how to say it, people. Say it again.
The Snowpocalypse.
Snowpocalypse. Okay.
Snowvid 21.
So anyway, we kind of missed out the boat, but I still have plenty that you can buy. I'm just saying, I'm gonna sew along with it because I like it.
You can also call it the Texan Tundra.
The what?
Texan Tundra.
Texan Tundra. I don't even know what tundra means.
It's like the frozen climate, I think.
And let's see. Okay, we got some more quilts. This quilt, it's gonna sell out. I'm just telling you right now. This is in the newsletter today. Perfect timing on it. Let's see. It was designed by Jocelyn, quilted by Mike at mylongarm.com, and Nova made it. It's called Classic and Vintage Ladies Aid. So this is a free video and a free block, and if you want to turn it into a quilt, it's a low price PDF, but the video came out this week and it's featured in the newsletter today. And if you want to see the up close of the feather quilting,
Ooh.
it's pretty. So we came up with this so that it would be in celebration of first responders. And then I have 2 more quilts. Okay, we showed the kit packaging for both of these on February 12th's live stream. And this is the Flea Market Table Runner by Lori Holt. And so I showed you the kit packaging, and here it is all sewn up.
Oh my. It's so pretty.
I know, it's very vintage.
Yeah.
So what she did, you use the seed applique templates, and the person who made this, the name's not on it, or I would give credit, did a blanket stitch. Can you zoom in? See if we can find one that's darker. Oh, here, this one will probably be easier to see. See, there you go. So you can really see the blanket stitch. And then this is the block, and these are just corner squares. So if you love applique, this would be a great one. And then this doesn't come with the kit, but they put this in. It's an optional separate purchase, which is the large vintage trim by Lori Holt. So now that we have shown that, we can send it back. And this one is kind of fun. Look, hey, look. Wait, I'll do it this way. Oh, sorry. So they put this label, it's just a piece of fabric. I don't know if it's a label they made and they just put it on there. They like just set it on there and it quilted on top.
Oh.
But it's not sewn under or anything, it's raw edge.
Oh, it's just like, boop.
Yep.
Oh.
Okay, and then this is the other one that I showed that day.
Which, the February 12th live stream was technically our last live stream.
Oh,
Because
okay.
we skipped a week.
Yeah, okay, this one has yo-yos on it. And you don't have to do yo-yos, you could just do an applique circle. So these are very, like, see how my hand is not flat? They go up. And so this is a 4-patch right here. And you use that same seed ruler to applique on top. So this part is applique, not this. So it's kind of reverse of what you would think, or what I would think. Does that make sense, Lily?
Yeah.
So you do a 4-patch, and then you add this. And then you could do this as a yo-yo or as a applique, or you could leave it off. I've never made a yo-yo in my life, so I have no idea how to do that.
What's a yo-yo?
Yeah, like a... See it?
Yeah. I've never heard that in quilting.
Oh yeah, we have a video from like 20 years ago.
Oh.
I mean, not really 20, but
Yeah.
it's like there's a yo-yo maker, and you put it down, and then you weave your needle in and out the edge of the yo-yo, and then you go like this. They're made by Clover, the yo-yo maker. But
I see it now.
and then this also is the same applique stitch, so whoever made it probably did the same blanket stitch.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know how to make a yo-yo.
That's so funny. I'd never heard that before in quilting.
So that's all I have today. I have some funny stories though. So just let me know what questions you have about everything I just showed, and then I'll tell you my story so that anybody who doesn't want to hear my ridiculous life can turn off.
All right, we had a new YouTube member, Charmed Yarn. Welcome. Lovely username. And then we had a super chat from Elizabeth Steele for $4.99, and Elizabeth says, "Will there be enough fabric in the Serendipity kit to starch? Thank you for all you do."
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Because I'm gonna starch. That's what I told Lilly. I said I need to starch all of that this weekend. I had to get enough starch because once I start, I try to do the whole kit all at one time, and so now I have enough starch to start.
Super chat from Susanna Pasterik for $4.99, and Susanna says, "Just finishing up Best Friend's quilt. So much fun. Thank you for all your tutorials."
Thank you. And I wanted to I didn't have that as a pop-up. I should have. So during Snowpocalypse, I said it right.
Yay.
Gina posted when her electricity came back on, the quilt in the snow. Like she's holding it, and then there's all the snow.
It is really pretty, you're right.
Yeah, and so she's gonna quilt that this week, and we're gonna auction it off for Make-A-Wish.
Yes.
I'm gonna bid too, so y'all might be bidding against me.
Ooh.
Cause I do want it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I have a right to bid.
Super chat from Sherry Bird for $4.99. Thank you so much, Sherry.
Thank you.
And another super chat from Valeria Bauer for $4.99, and she put a pear laying on its side, with kind of squinty looking eyes, saying, "How's it going?"
Aw, it's good. This week, I'll
Very
tell you,
good.
this Friday, way better than last Friday. Last Friday, I was real stinky. I will tell that
Me
story.
too.
And I was like, nobody come around me. I was like, Kevin, don't come near me. I mean, like, there's a level of stink that was in our house, and I was like about to lose it. I think I handled myself really well. And then Friday, I'll just go into my story. I was about to lose it. So we are very lucky. Kevin and I, my family, so lucky. Lilly was super lucky. We didn't lose our power. But so what they said on Sunday night or whenever, Monday, they said, we're going to do rolling blackouts in Austin, and you're going to lose power for 75 minutes, and then you're going to have power for 2 hours. Then you're going to lose power, then you're going to have power for 2 hours, something like that. So I just kind of put my phone up and thought, okay, I don't want to have my phone go out, so I'm going to just like watch TV. So I just watched TV. Well, what happened was they went to the first rolling blackout and it stuck. So if you were in that first wave of the grid, you just didn't have power for 5 days.
Wow.
So luckily Lilly and I didn't. Now Lilly thinks it's because she might be on the hospital grid.
Yeah.
And I think it might be because there is a St. David's hospital. It's an emergency room, but it is, I mean, I've been in there. It's not like a medic clinic. It's like real deal x-rays, IVs, all that, because don't ask why. We've been there twice. So that's why we think we got lucky. On Tuesday, Wednesday, and part of Thursday, we didn't have gas. So, I don't cook. So I'm going to admit that it took me 30 minutes to figure out that I could use my waffle maker and make Bisquick. So we had waffles for a couple days,
Oh, nice.
which was good, but I was trying to figure out the pancake maker because we have a griddle, but I haven't used it in a long time. So, and then Friday we lost water. And these moms in Emma's dance group, there was a dance convention last week, and it was on Saturday, and it was like from like 2 to 8 or something. And they're like, you need to vote. Well, we all voted, and it was a vote of no. Well, then they said, well, it's not really a no. If everyone in your team wants to compete, we can. And I was like, I had to be the one mom. I mean, you voted anonymously. Hopefully none of them watch my channel. I had to vote no. I was like, how is Emma going to get there? She stinks. I stink. Like, I didn't know if the water was going to come back on. And then I felt bad on Saturday because we did get our water back and we could have gone, but I was just like...
But you didn't know. None
I
of
was
us
like,
knew anything was gonna.
well, and I didn't know like if we're gonna have a water leak at the warehouse, and we live really far from the warehouse. We hadn't heard from anybody who had been here yet to check it out. We live an hour away. But anyway, it all worked out. We didn't have any damage here. So lucky. I really had. It really was not too bad, except it was freezing. I have some pictures to show.
Oh yeah.
So the snow wasn't sticky enough to make a snowman, so, you know, that's what kids want to do. This is outside the front of my yard, and we lost some of those trees. And then the next one is, okay, so the only thing my kids really did was every day they went to the trampoline and tried to get the snow off the outside edge.
Oh, yeah.
Because they and Kevin they thought that that it was going to collapse or that the bottom would collapse. But every time they went out there, they really didn't make any progress. So you can tell. But it didn't break. We were so happy because we didn't buy a really expensive one. So we were like, well, we're not really sure it's going to last. But yeah. And then this is a tree that we definitely lost. But that's a lot of snow. And then the next one is, I think, my Creative Grids ruler. Oh, no, this is, okay, this is.
The sledding.
This is Christopher. So we found a hill in our neighborhood, and Kevin, he's from Illinois, so he was trying to figure out a way that they could do something because they didn't like the, you couldn't do snowball fight because the snowball wouldn't stick together. And so he got some, what are those, cardboard boxes?
Yeah.
But it wouldn't work. So he tried that, and then the next day he tried inflatable pool thingies, like the pool ring, floaties, the ring,
Yeah.
the inner tube. And we tried to go down, anyway, it popped.
Oh.
So now we don't have those. But we couldn't get it to work, so we kind of, Emma tried it. We tried it like a couple places. It didn't really work. And then that's my 7.25 inch Creative Grids. That was about what I did. I walked outside, took a couple of pictures, and walked back inside. And it's like, it is way too cold.
It was very cold.
Kevin was outside a lot because he was like trying to like, make sure the pipes didn't burst and like doing all kinds of stuff. And he has like all his winter gear. I was like, I don't have any shoes. I don't have anything. I'm going to hide. But my funny story of the week is Tuesday. I went home a little early because we were doing a video. No, Wednesday. I went home maybe 2 hours early because I needed to clean up and finalize some things for a video we were doing yesterday morning. I get an email. Okay, I have 4 children. 2 of them, they try to blame each other for everything. One, Peyton, he sits in the kitchen, does his school from the kitchen. His brother, Will, does it from their bedroom. Christopher does his from Kevin's office. But you can see from Kevin's office, you can see the kitchen. So you can see this kid can see this kid. But we had to separate them because they couldn't get along. So I guess Christopher saw Peyton playing on his iPad during school. He got on the Lake Travis School District, found Peyton's teacher, and emailed her and said, "Hi, my name is Christopher Jolly. Are you Peyton Jolly's teacher? Because he's not paying attention and he's playing on his iPad."
Oh my gosh.
So the teacher emails Kevin and I. I don't think she was happy. She sounded kind of pissed off. She was like, and I was just sitting there like, am I supposed to be mad at my children? Am I supposed to be mad at both? Who should I be mad at more? But this is funny, but we didn't want to like tell Peyton that Christopher told on him. So we had to phrase it a different way. But we had to tell Christopher, like, we live in this house. You have our phone number. You could have emailed us. You could have texted us. You could have called us. You could have FaceTimed us. You could have told the nanny. You could have done anything. But you went to the teacher, and he was like, well, he doesn't pay attention. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So yeah, I think it would have been okay if the teacher wasn't so upset, but the teacher seemed very upset. And so now we have the iPads taken away during the day because, like, I didn't think that was a problem. I mean, his grades seemed fine. I mean, I don't know. So yeah, now we have to have a system where the iPads are hidden during the day. And it was one of those, like, you're embarrassed, because obviously you don't want your kid doing that. That's like, I don't know. I didn't know what to do. I was like, should I laugh? Should I cry?
Oh.
What should I do? And I was like, Christopher, why didn't you just tell us? Like, he's like, I don't know. So anyway. And so then they ended up blaming each other. Well, you interrupt me. You interrupt me. And I was just like, oh my goodness.
Oh.
So embarrassing.
That's funny. All right. Few questions from Janet. Is the sew by row pushback?
No.
From Santa Almodovar. Did Piggy enjoy the show? Or the snow? Sorry. The show.
Oh, he didn't hate it, but I think he was confused. So what I would do is take him out the side door because there wasn't a buildup by our back door. We had this like pile of snow, so you had to like go over it, and it was taller than him. So I just would take him out the side door to go to the bathroom, and then he would sometimes go and sometimes not. But his feet would go in the ice. It would go crunch, crunch, but he didn't seem to like hate the ice. He just kind of looked at me like, what is going on? I don't understand. But so we just kept him inside. Like, I just take him outside to go to the bathroom. But I will say on Saturday when it cleared up, he was so excited because he likes to, I guess it's like a sunbathing.
Yeah.
He goes and he just sits in the sun.
Yeah.
And so he was like, he didn't want to come inside. He was like, I think he was so excited when it was over, but I don't think he hated it. I just think he was confused.
Oh, yeah. From Patricia Hamilton, what time will the live tutorials be on for Serendipity?
9 a.m. Central Standard Time on Mondays.
Yes.
And we'll put like a
Reminder.
preview or something like, not on Sunday, but like Friday or Saturday.
Yeah, we always, a few of you guys I think have noticed we schedule our streams on YouTube so you can set a reminder for yourself, and we would be doing that.
And on your phone, like, go to settings and it'll say like notifications all, personalized or none. You want to select all, and then that way it will always tell you instead of sometimes telling you. So if it's personalized, it means YouTube shows you when they think you want to see, which is okay. So like my channels that are not my favorite but I like to watch every now and then, I have those on personalized, and the ones that I absolutely love and have to watch every single one, I put on all. So that's kind of how, and then none is like, I guess if you don't want notifications.
And Wilma Evans said, what is there about the Juki that you like over other machines?
Okay, I like the speed. I like the foot pedal. I can cut the thread from the foot pedal, and I just love it. It's just fast, and it doesn't have all this stuff on it. Like when I turn on a machine, I don't want a computer that goes do 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 do, lights up. You have to click buttons. I don't want any of that. I don't have time. And I don't do anything fancy. So I do have a fancy machine that I'll never get rid of. My mom bought it when my dad died, so that would be 14 years ago. I've had it 14 years, and it will do anything I need that's fancy. So that's great. I have that. I'll never change it. It's great. It's a Baby Lock Crescendo or Symphony, something like that. But when I want to sew, I just want to get busy and go. I just want to like go. And it doesn't shake either. That's also a big thing is sometimes if you have a machine and it shakes, it will interfere with your piecing. And I sewed so much last week, and I didn't sew until Thursday because I was so worried the electricity was going to go off. We didn't know, and they told you don't use a lot of electricity, so we would like leave lights off, you know what I mean, like leave lights off, and I didn't want the iron, the iron would take a lot of power. Well, then they said on Thursday, or whatever day, I think it was Thursday, well, if you don't have power, you're not going to get power. And if you do have power, you're going to keep power. So I was like, okay, well, then I'm just going to use power. Because at that point, they had already locked the grid or whatever they did. I don't know what they did. And I sewed through every sew-along that's open. And I started working on the dinosaur quilt for Peyton. And so it has, I think they're plants. There's plants. So I did all the plants. So this weekend, I get to do the first dinosaur. And I'm so excited. I know. And then Will said, what about my Harry Potter quilt? And I was like, I know, I need to finish it.
Oh.
I just don't understand Harry Potter because I don't watch movies. I will say that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I really didn't do much on my phone because I was so like, I don't want to be in a position where if there's an emergency, we can't call someone. I mean, we have children. And I didn't want to have to charge my phone in my car. So I really didn't watch anything on my phone. Mm-hmm. But on Thursday, when I figured out, okay, you can, I started watching more of Discovery Plus, and it is so good. I have watched so many things on there, hours and hours and hours of stuff. So I'm actually really glad that I downloaded that. And then I downloaded Sundance Now. That was before. I downloaded that like 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Sundance Now or Sundance something.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Sundance Now, I think. Uh-huh.
And there's been some good stuff on there. You got to kind of, on that one, you got to dig. Because it's not as search functionality. The search functionality isn't as good. And so what I do is I'll Google, what is a good documentary on Sundance Now? And then I'll go watch it. So I watched a lot of TV Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday. I got so much done. It feels really good to be caught up. And I will say, I was thankful that I like everybody in my house, because if you live, like say you were in a bad marriage and you had to be in a house with somebody, you would have just died, because you're on edge, because you're like, oh my gosh, and then like we didn't have protein for like 3 days because we couldn't cook meat. Mm-hmm. So we were just like out of energy, but we were so lucky. Oh my gosh, we're so lucky. But we also we don't have City of Austin water. Mm-hmm. And so we lost our water, but we lost our water because a pipe burst on a highway. Mm-hmm. And they were like, well, we don't know when we're going to fix it, because I guess it was a big pipe. And they said, it might get fixed, it might not, we don't know. But yeah. And I got a lot of really funny texts from my neighbor. He would text me and say, your kids are eating yellow snow, which of course they weren't. Mm-hmm. But like kidding, because, the dog. And I was like, oh, they're not eating yellow snow. Because they wouldn't even go outside. It was so cold. Like the first day when I woke up. I mean, I was born and raised in Austin. Like very few people are. I've lived here my whole life. I've never moved away.
You're a unicorn.
What does that mean?
That you've lived here in Austin your whole life, because most people are like me, they're like transplants.
Okay, good. I'm a unicorn.
Yeah.
So I lived like 15 minutes from where the warehouse is now. So I've always lived in kind of the same spot. And I've never seen anything like it. When I looked outside, I woke up and I always eat breakfast at the same time because I have medicine to take. Oh, and my medicine did run out. That was a bad thing that happened. Ooh, Kevin was like, Kim, anyway, I looked outside my sewing room, and literally you could see the air doing this. Like you could see the air. And I was like, so then I woke up Kevin and I was like, I am not walking out there. And he was like, oh my goodness. Because he's from Illinois, so he used to play hockey. I think he won like the state championship for hockey. Oh. Like he really does know like all the stuff to do, because he would be outside for hours and everybody would be like, where is he? I'm like, I don't know. But he was out there like doing the pipes and like checking the pipes the next day and all that. Thankfully, because I don't know how to do any of that.
Few people are wondering if we got hit with those high electric bills.
I haven't gotten a bill, so I don't know, but I'm pretty sure we will be. But not those. I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, what?
Just some people in Texas, because of the way their electric bill is, their rates went up when they had power, so then now they owe like $9,000 or something like that.
Oh, no, I don't. Not yet. I hope not.
No, anyone in Austin did not, because their rates work different. It's like a set thing, so.
Yeah, I don't watch the news, so I don't know. I don't know. Yes. I did tell Lilly at lunch yesterday, I said, okay, when this happens in Texas, tell me, because I don't watch the news and I need to know.
Yes.
Because she does watch the news.
Yes.
I did watch the news. I watched David Yeoman and Jim Spencer. They're like the celebrity weathermen. I mean, people just like, for some reason, love them. And so I would watch their weather reports, because I thought, well, if everybody else is watching them, that's what we should watch. They must be reliable. I mean, I don't really know who else is weatherman here, but I did watch the weather.
And question from Teresa. Teresa says, Scott Furtenoff from Jaftex has been talking about how the cotton shortage is going to cause fabric prices to rise. Have you seen any of that already?
Every company has raised prices. Every single one. And not only are they raised prices, they've raised prices with like a 10-day, hey, you got 10 days to place an order. So prices are going to go up. And I did get a really nasty comment that was like, how dare these companies, da-da-da-da-da. They're not trying to price gouge you. Nobody in the fabric business is millionaires. Nobody in this fabric business is like super rich. They're running a business. They're running a business in a difficult time right now. Frankly, it sucks. Let's just be real. They can't get their stuff on boats to get over here because you have to pay a premium to get it on a boat to even get over here. There's all kinds of things behind the scenes. There's all kinds of things happening at the ports. I mean, I have a list that I get weekly from the port in California of what is going on there. It is not good. And all of those things affect price, and our prices will be going up as our prices go up. So when stuff ships and it's a higher price, we're going to try not to go up too much. We're going to try to absorb a little bit of it. But that's just kind of the nature of the beast. There is a cotton shortage. There is employee shortage. Think about it. I mean, people over there, they have COVID too. So there's going to be shortages of employees. So guess what? Prices are going to go up because they're going to have to pay other employees overtime to cover for the people who can't come because of COVID. There are problems getting on a boat. I could go for an hour and tell you why prices are going up. Nobody is trying to price gouge you. Every company has raised prices. Every single one. I don't think one hasn't. And they just email us and say, hey, this is, and we just say, okay. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, prices are going to go up with every product right now because everything is having, I mean, if things were made in America, it would be a little bit different, but it would also be the same because if people are out with COVID, you're going to pay overtime, time and a half, or double time, et cetera, et cetera. There are things, and spacing. Cost of doing business is up because you have to buy plexiglass, plastic, gloves, hand sanitizer, cut the tables where you can only have one employee in a space. There are all kinds of things to keep your employees safe. Those all cost money. And we're not the only company doing it. Everyone around the world is trying to do what they can do and follow all of the CDC guidelines and do what's right. That all costs money. Nobody sends us masks for our employees to wear for free. Nobody sends us hand sanitizer for free. All of that, I mean, all of that costs money, and it just all kind of, sorry, I should really be quiet now. Sorry, I'm trying to explain it, but I'm getting worked up.
One last question. Lots of people love your shirt. They want to know where you got it.
Talbot's. Okay. So I bought a bunch of clothes at Talbot's because they had like a 25% off. So, and I love Talbot's. Okay, so guys, have a great week. I will be back with Block 21 next week, and on our cross stitch channel, which is Fat Quarter Shop Floss Tube. If you would like to subscribe there, we would appreciate it. And on Tuesday, we're going to be doing a live stitchy talk on that channel. So, see you then.
Bye, everyone.